So the first one we talk about is rationalization. I mean, you guys know you're making excuses. All you do is like excuses to, in order to make you happy, just to satisfy your feelings. Now, this is what I think, but not what everybody think. You always giving excuses and then giving reasons about a problem that has occurred, even though that's not true. You're ignoring the fact. Basically, that's all. But they will give you the question and you have to interpret it based on what you think it is. Then the next one, I'll give you an example. These questions, we'll try it and see. Displacement. So remember, these defense mechanisms are not bad. Okay, it's our whole body adaptive way of compensating our inefficiency, basically, in order to know we don't like to be hurt. Nobody like to be hurt. Nobody like to feel bad about things. So in order to ignore those bad feelings, we develop this defense mechanism to adapt to the situation and move on. So that's basically, that's what it is. It's just like transferring your feeling to somebody else. Okay, that's all. So transferring feeling onto somebody else. The person has done you nothing, okay? He has not done you anything. He just like basically transferring your feeling to somebody else that you think can take it because probably you can dominate that person. And that's all. And number three, it get harder. Regression is better. Okay, regression is okay. Basically, you're going back to your primitive state. I call it primitive. Or your childhood kind of life, you know. You do something that you know is bad and they tell you, then you start throwing things away, temper tantrum. Basically, that's what a kid would do. You're 29-year-old or 45. Why do you have to throw the chair away? Why do you have to take your shirt off and lay on the ground and spin around like you mad? You know, temper tantrum. That's like regretting. You're going back to a stage you already attained. You have attained that stage through Freud and Erickson. You have to attain that before you become boss. If you don't attain it, then it's a problem. And now all of a sudden, you get into trouble. They school you a little bit, and you go back there. You know, you start crying, and everybody will see you. You know, that's regression. Okay, introjection. Okay, this one is a little bit. You have to understand it, and you have to interpret it the way you want to, so that, but don't mix the words. Okay. You take on like somebody quality, okay? You take on somebody quality without not thinking about it. All of a sudden you say you want to be a Superman, but you don't know what Superman involved, you know? They jump in the sky. Can you jump? You know, you can't do that. So taking qualities that qualities of another person without you not thinking through. You don't do, you just all of a sudden you wake up, you say you want to be a cop, but you don't know what cop. There's a cop that live near your house, so you just want to be a cop, but you have not thought through the consequences and everything like that. That's introjection. And this is the one that I sometimes can screw you up. Reaction formation. Okay, reaction formation. This is, I see it, the word is reaction. You reacting to something, reaction formation. So basically you have a certain feeling, but you are acting opposite to that feeling, right? Opposite to that feeling. It's hard to like explain. I have to give you. So acting opposite to your feelings. You hate Mr. So and so in the office, but every time you see him, you high-fiving him. When he leaves, you just like burning inside. That's reaction formation. You hate him to the bone, like you don't even want to see his face. between you yourself. But when you see him, you high five him, you just joy all over. Then when he goes away, you're burning inside. That's like reaction formation. It's not denial. That's not denial. You're not making excuses. You're just reacting to the situation, that particular area. But inside you, you're just not doing the right thing. Basically, that's not the feeling you have. And I can give you an example. Like you don't want to have a child, all of a sudden the baby is born and you are so protective, like nothing should happen to the baby, that you are reacting to now the situation you have at hand. But you hate baby. You do not want, in the beginning you said, I don't want any baby. But all of a sudden you are the one in charge, basically. You don't want any little thing to happen to the baby. So that's that reaction formation. Then the last but one, I think, repression. This one is straightforward, right? Repression. Basically, it's different from reaction formation. You're not repressing your feeling. When you repress your feeling, you don't show it. But in that situation, okay, you basically ignore completely that feeling. This one, reaction formation, you have not ignored the feeling. It's still there, but you are not acting accordingly. This one, you don't even want to remember it. That's repression. So you keep things that upset you down, okay? Probably I'll use some example you may know, like somebody get raped and they completely forget what happened. They tell you, I don't remember anything what happened, but they themselves know what happened. They know who did it, but they don't want to relive the situation again. Don't want to relive the situation again. So you repress that feeling down. Then sublimation. This is another hard one, okay? This is another hard one. And like I said, once again, define it the way you understand so that when you see the question, you can use it to answer it. So this one, you have unacceptable feeling, okay? Really bad feeling, okay? But you turn into better action. What is an example? Like you're very aggressive. So aggressive person, but you don't want to get into trouble. You become a boxer. So that aggression, oh, you can beat people up and make money, you know, so unacceptable feelings about things, and then you turn into a good action. You know, you start boxing, you are now a boxer, and then making money out of that bad feeling, you just throw it away. Like, another example, you stress about something, you and your wife fighting, your husband fighting, and you go to the gym and you box the hell out of the boxing gym, or you start lifting weight. The weight is like 200 pounds. You can't lift, but all of a sudden, that aggression is going to that weight. That's what you're doing. That's a form of sublimation. There's this, which is, it's not part of, when you look for it, it's not there. Splitting. It's not part of the normal defense mechanism, but it can be associated with some disease process like bipolar, or no bipolar, and borderline personality. They split. When we say somebody is splitting, they divide. They don't take people as a whole, so they divide them into half. Half of the class they like, half of the other class they don't like. So they divide them into a division, and they split the two. So you split your behavior. So if you're taking care of this patient, they will basically like other people. Nurses, the morning nurse, they will like it because they want to manipulate them, and the evening nurse, they hate them, and they tell them story different. Today they hate you, tomorrow they don't hate you. That is splitting, and sometimes associated with other personality and disorder. Then a projection, projection, basically, you yourself know, based on the word, okay? You know you're narcissistic, but then you don't want people to call you narcissistic, so you tell other people they're narcissistic. You're a thief, but you don't want people to call you thief, and somebody do something, you just project at them like I think you are the thief. Like our former president, it's the classic one, project a idea that it relates to him to other people. So you just, even though they don't want to show themselves, they project the idea to other people and say, this is what is going on. So those are the information that you need to know. Very short, but you have to understand it so that because the question will look the same, but you have to like pick between them. But if you define it your own way, it will be much, much better. Okay. So I have a couple of questions. This is a quick one, then we can try them and you can see. So this is the first one. John is a shop owner and a thief. He automatically accuses everyone who looks suspicious in his store of stealing. This is an example of what defense mechanism. What do you guys think? Yeah, so everybody said it's projection. As you can see, this is the way they're going to ask you. He's a thief, but as a thief will know who is a thief. He knows he's the thief. Nobody have stolen anything, but he's projecting his feeling, his natural feeling that I'm a thief. But now he's calling everybody as a thief. He's projecting them, even though they have not stolen anything. They look at them and say, "Oh, you stole this thing," but yet the person has not stolen anything. There's no evidence of repression yet. Nobody is repressing their feeling. In reaction formation, you are not doing anything. You are not behaving opposite to what you believe. Okay. It's not in a denial, even though it's sound. And look at where they put the denial. These are the distractors. They put it close to the answer choice. That, he's denying for being a thief. He's not. He's now calling other people thief, even though they have not stolen anything. But he's the thief. Okay. And there's no sublimation yet, right? There's no unacceptable feeling being transferred to that. If you do it like that, you see that it's easy. You define it as you go down and say, no, I don't see any repression yet. I don't see reaction formation yet. Don't just use the word, but use it in a sentence. Reaction formation is that. I don't see that it's subliming or denying or having a reaction formation. It's projecting. Those are adjectives. So when you describe it like that, you see that it make more sense to you. So that's our first example. Okay, number 2. Mary decides to go out and party with whole week before a midterm instead of studying. She fails a midterm and tells her parents that she failed it due to being sick and not getting enough sleep. This is an example of what defense mechanism. She failed the exams and blaming sickness as the cause of it. So of course, I mean, there's no evidence of any sublimation, like I said, denying. She's not repressing any feelings. She's not having a reaction formation. She's rationalizing that she failed because there's sickness. Okay, so you guys on the roll. 3, instead of taking out his anger on others, Ben, like me, when he gets really angry, plays the saxophone. This is an example of what. So be careful. He has an anger, but he did not beat anybody. He did not beat his wife. He does not yell at his wife. He just went and played saxophone. That is where I want you guys to, this is the way they can trap you. He did not go and beat his wife or anything like that. So there's no way he's projecting anything. He's not doing anything. So he's taking his bad feeling into a good action. And you can see how it can be straightforward. So the bad anger is now turned into saxophone. And as everybody agree, no, there's no agreement. There's no repression. It's not repressing the feeling. When you repress the feeling, you don't want to feel, and you don't even want to think about it. But he thought about it, and he went and played something. He's turning that feeling into something good. Playing a saxophone is a good thing. So that's not repressing. Repressing means you don't even want to think about it. So this is not repressing. It's basically subliming. Okay. Unacceptable feeling, take into action, good action. They can be tricky, and then so you got to be careful. Number 4, Joyce block her bad memories of high school bullies from her mind. So she just completely block it. This is the one, the previous answer. I'm blocking. I don't even want to think about it. If I block it, I don't want to think about it. This is the repression. It's not sublimation. It's not projection, but I'm blocking my feelings. So, and I'm not making any reaction formation about anything. I'm not turning, suppressing the feeling, doing the opposite to that. She's not doing opposite to that. That's reaction formation. She's just basically blocking it completely, and that's repression. Number 5, James' favorite uncle passes away from a long battle with illness, but he refuses to believe that it happened. This is an example of what defense mechanism. So this one is straightforward. You can see there's a word refuse. You know, his uncle passes away for a long time. The trauma itself bother him, and he can't believe that all this has gone, and so he refuses. So he doesn't want to take that unacceptable feeling at all. He does not want to take it at all. So he refuses to accept it. So that's completely trying to deny. He's in denial completely. Okay. And I think we have 2 more, then we'll be done. And when you see any defense mechanism question, it should be like straightforward, 6. Mary is hungry with Matt, but eventually she becomes friend and is nice to him. I'm not happy about it. Excellent. So you guys are on the roll. She's hungry with him, but she's not acting the way she's supposed to, acting opposite to that feeling. That's unacceptable. So she's reaction, she's not in a denial. I mean, and she has not rationalized any information, and she's not subliming anything. The unacceptable feeling, even though it looked like she has turned into action, no, it's not a good action. You know she's angry, but then she becomes friend. Well, somebody will say, well, she probably has now has turned into a good action. I don't think so. Deep down her, she's mad at Matt, but then she became friends, and they nowadays hanging out. Good luck with that. So that's the. But you can be trapped into put sublimation. I know you can explain it that way, but that's fine. And I think the last one, I don't know if we have a last one. And the last one. So these are not hard questions. I try to make it straightforward. That's the way to actually. They may put a sentence long, but he has the same theme that you can use to answer the question. A client who abuses alcohol, okay, and heroin tells a nurse that he only uses it, he giving excuses because somebody of his stress, blaming the stress and difficult job. So this is not sublimation because unacceptable feeling has not turned into any bad and good action. It's not displacing his feeling to another person. It's not projecting his a feeling to another person like I'm a thief, I'm making another person a thief. But what? I'm making excuses for using these drugs because of my marriage. The marriage has nothing to do with it. You just want to be a drug user. So, and that's it.